love knows no boundaries. It's something that hits you so hard, you even don't know. At the office, we have different people. We have our
Mm.
bosses, you have the people that work below us, you have the security personnel, you have the chefs. So we are talking about love at the place where you work, where you spend most of your time, because we are in a generation where we are economical slave, like we are economic slaves. It's
Mm.
about money, pay bills,
Mm.
and live.
Mm.
So we've
Mm.
never, sometimes people don't even have time to go out and socialize. And all of a sudden
Mm.
you find yourself, you have almost 8 hours at your
Mm.
workplace. And in these
Mm.
8 hours, you're meeting people, you know? I mean, you fall in, that feeling comes on and go. So I
Yeah.
want to ask before that, in your experience, how common, actually that question I was gonna give it to Smith, but let me give it to you because I don't know how your internet will be. How common
Mm.
is workplace? How common are romances at workplace? And you understand, like, have you ever encountered it in your experience? Has someone ever encountered it? I mean,
Mm.
and what factors contribute to that?
Okay.
Hmm.
Thank you so much, Madam Moderator. I didn't even say a proper introduction, but thanks so much for this opportunity,
Mm.
for trusting me at least to have a word to communicate to our audience. But mostly, I participate in such platforms to learn because I know most of our viewers, they are more experienced. So thank you so much to you and all the viewers. If I can go direct to the question, because I don't know how this internet thing is lasting.
Mm.
It's true. It's very true. Actually, work relationships are a little bit common depending on the geographical locations and the type of companies, for example.
Mhm.
Some working environments like churches, they encourage people to.
Oh, oh my God. Oh my God. We are experiencing serious technical problems. Smuggy,
Yes, please.
do you agree with the workplace romances? Are you a victim? I'm so,
Uh,
I'm so, I'm so
take
straight.
a
Are you a victim?
information.
Yes, to our viewers, we are sorry. We apologize for Jessica's technical situation, but hope she can
That
hang
question
up.
of yours, am I a victim? Kanshoken Mireku Abu Matovu, Norway. Those are the victims we're having on this show. But like she said, we can't run away from this, whether you like it or not.
I
By
don't
virtue,
know. I feel like dying. I'm so sorry. Oh, God. I
no,
think
actually, you can continue from
this.
there. Go
Continue,
ahead.
continue. Whenever you
Yeah,
come, just talk.
Okay, no
yeah.
Mm.
problem. Yeah, for example, I was giving an example of churches. You realize that some church leaders encourage their people to get married. I remember there was even a church in Uganda that organized the group weddings because, I mean, these days, this generation, now we've even entered generation better from 2025.
Mm.
It's not so common that we have other platforms where we meet physically. Nowadays, as my sister, you've mentioned it, that we start going to work from the age of 16. I see at work kids start coming in for like a vacation work at the age of 16. So from 16, they're already at work. That's the environment. That's their platform, you understand. And some people, we even have two jobs. So meaning that we spend so much time at work and we enter the work environment so early. So we don't have enough time to go out and socialize and see how these other people behave. So the issue of like proximity at work, spending much quality time there with each other, facilitates for our kind of workmate relationship.
Relationship.
Yes, establishing relationships. And another thing is that you asked me if it is very common. Yeah, we've heard of stories, testimonies, where people have mentioned that even themselves are products of their parents having met at workplaces. There are very many out there. And we have many like examples. These are the popular, famous examples mentioned. Barack Obama, who turned out to be the president of 44th president of America. They met at work.
Yes.
His current wife was his mentor by then. And that's quite special because she was the woman who was a senior to the one who turned out to be one of the most wonderful and famous presidents of all times. So that one has something to teach us women, that you might be in a higher position than a man, but if you see qualities in him, it doesn't matter where you meet him. Love can happen from anywhere, and it can happen to anyone. So I think actually it's common, also depending on the geographical locations and the type of companies. Is it private? Most private companies, they don't even have guidelines, but they just do it. And also, for example, public parastatals, they have guidelines whereby for them it's formalized. It's okay to fall in love with your workmate as long as you follow the standard guidelines that will protect, for example, professionalism, openness, mutual respect for each other, and lack of being fair and not being so biased. So if I'm to answer that question, I say actually it's very common, and it's even becoming more common. In the generation, the previous generations, the millenniums,
Oh, we've lost her again. Oh, she's here.
People even dating, long distance dating, but now they're realizing those kinds of datings come with their challenges. For example, online dating, marriage, it's like running.
Yes, it's what it is. We cannot do anything. Obanafe Trump yazze. Yes, you can go ahead.
Well, what are you going to do? So people have tested all those other alternatives to datings, and they're not working out so well. You see this online dating, people are lying a lot. People even do photoshopping. Someone can lie up right from the picture, the profession, their qualities. You can't study someone so
The
well
size.
with online dating, but here at work, you're spending more time with that person. Imagine, for example, if my colleague, if Simogi, for example, and me were
so I know what show.
creating other bond, and along the way shall be talking, how are you? I'm preparing to, yeah, I hope more than 20 days. Oh, so, I don't like parking. Oh, I can maybe help you with that. Are you free over the weekend? Yes, I'm free over the weekend. Then I come to help him arranging the sitting room, arranging the bedroom, maybe not knowing that after few months, probably I'm gonna be another occupant of that very apartment. So we have all opportunities at work these days, as long as you keep it professional and you manage to keep a balance between personal affairs and work issues, not bringing everything from your relationships outside and bringing it to work.
Yeah.
So actually, work is providing very fertile and very favorable dating environment. Imagine every morning when you're still fresh and happy, one of the first people to look at, to see, is your colleague. And will be, oh, you look good. Oh, how are you? Good morning. And then I'll be giving you this other warm morning hug. Before even your relatives stay in another village know how you slept. This colleague is already there for you. You having a birthday on a Wednesday. Before
Oh my God. Internet, don't do this to us, please.
I think it was inevitable for internet to stop her. Otherwise, she was doing injustice to me.
kind of relationship. Imagine also at work, we encounter risks, stress factors that facilitate support that can, in the long run, help us establish fundamental relationships. For example, imagine if we are working at a construction sector these days, women were everywhere. Even we say, some of us say that what men can do, we can do. Even others go a little bit further and say, what men can do, women can do better.
Oh my God, I am missing out on my guest. Anyway, thank you, Jessica. You've given us a quite elaborative opinion and
example, such that we relate to them. I'll be among the first people to go to his rescue. You understand? Asking, oh, how are you feeling now? Oh, so sorry. Oh, this and this. I'll be the one to call the ambulance. I'll be the one to shout, calling the neighbors, come and help him. Come and rescue him. I can't even come and rescue me to rescue him, you know? And in that process, when this man feels okay, when he comes back from the hospital, I will start giving me names, my savior, because I love him, my hero. Huh? And then from there, I will be like, oh, wow, if I take this woman home, she will always be there for me. We don't even have to first go to church to make these announcements. Is it both in the good times and the bad times? I'll be there for you. No, he has witnessed. He has witnessed how I've been there for him during the hard times. Hey, imagine we are working at an intensive care unit for children, babies, and then this man is observing how I'm doing. Oh,
Actually, she has a point there.
she has a point.
like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is the kind of that we should bring. And then from there, we can start a very stable, fundamental, and strong relationship because he has seen what he wishes for the mother of his future children. You see? So for me, I'm for actually that people are all free to establish relationships from wherever they can, as long as they don't affect anyone, they are fair, they follow the guidelines of the companies. And maybe some things to consider here to be observant about is the age of the person you're dating. Because as mentioned, we have many children these days who start working earlier. They're very grown person. So be careful about the age the person you're dating. Ask. And it's very good to ask, see even the ID of the person, for example, to make sure that at least that person is of the age of the consenting.
Actually, Jessica, thank you very much. I mean, when you talk about that, and anyway, besides, I want to agree with Jessica. Oh, I want to understand that Jessica says that work relationships are healthy because here you tend even to understand someone, to know them better. Because right now, nowadays, this lifestyle we are living, we don't even have time to watch the other person's lifestyle out of work or meet someone. Like long time ago when we were growing up, I remember we used to date our village mates. So right now we spend more time at work than at home because before then you date your neighbor and then you start because your family knows him or you know you've grown with him. But right now we studied, like most of us studied in Uganda. Now here we are living in Europe. And the best time or place you can understand the person you feel like your partner, a long time companion, like someone you can work together things out. It could be at workplace, and that's what Jessica is saying. But yes, it is healthy. And besides, we've said love knows no boundaries. But I'll ask Smoggy, what are the ethical dilemmas? What could be the ethical dilemmas that could arise if co-workers engage themselves into a romantic relationship? Yes, it's good. But remember, we are at work. And there are things, we have guidelines. We have things that, okay, you have to do this. When you're applying for a job, there was no relationship, but all of a sudden you find yourself in a situation and the situation feels good and feels promising, because at the end of the day, after work, you need to go back home to someone, or, like the way Jessica said, we all need support, personnel, like partners, all the Bible says. So what could be the ethical dilemmas that could arise? Just as she told us, like today, the next day she'll start coming to your house and set up the sofas and everything. But now we are back home. I mean, you're back to work after setting your living room the way you wanted. To go back, and now you're going to change the offices into the way your living room works. So what could be the ethical dilemmas that could arise? Keep us warned, because some of us, we have relationships in pipelines.
Well, once again, I'm humbled to be, and I'm honored, really, I'm humbled to be a guest again, this time around, where I can also give my opinions. It's quite a challenge. I'm already surfacing here as a host, but being a guest, I'll go by what you say. But there's some interesting interesting people here who have been saying something on our different social media platforms. Abu Matovu was saying something which needed some bit of reaction, where he said that okay, he commented that some people really don't need kids. A reaction which was on for Jessica, that some people, when she said that when you have if in any case you're working in a child care center, and then you find this pattern of yours, and then as a man, you could really identify that this person, if she can really take care of these kids, so she can be an icon in my in my house as a wife. So it's a challenge. But for Abu Matovu, much as you don't like kids, you are one alone. We say this show when it was starting that kids are a blessing. So if you don't want them, hey, be silent. We want kids because you're a result and you're a kid for some person. So we expect more kids from you. Anyway, that's a joke. But like you've said, also there's also just to supplement on what my sister said from Norway, Jessica. Love is quite a complex. No one can give its definition. You'll be lying to people when you say that you know the true definition of love. Whatever I see even on the internet, love is a feeling that is best expressed by only those two people who are into it. Sometimes culture comes in, thinking they can do the impact. Yes, we've seen a lot of people forcing others to get married, but at the end of it all, they divorce. We've seen people crossing the boundaries of their cultures, and they say, to hell with my culture, I love this person. So love doesn't ask why. Love is powerful. It's something which is a feeling. It's hard to to express it. It's hard to give a definition because it's known individually. So to relate this to our topic of discussion today, I'm looking at love in the office. To the viewers, love in the office, we're not looking at, we're just looking at relationships at workplace. Relationships at workplace, you cannot stop them because
but there could be dilemmas.
Dilemmas can be there, but like the way Jessica said, I just want to supplement a little bit with Jessica's, then I'll show you also the dynamics in it, or the dilemmas in it. Why you can't stop them. Abu Matovu said something that man, biblically, he said that man worketh where it is.
It is where I worketh.
Yeah, where worketh. I love that biblical part of it. Still, when you go into the Bible, there is, I think it's in Proverbs 20, I think it's Proverbs 27, verses 17, where it says, iron sharpens iron. So a person can sharpen another. This means, yes. No, the thing is like that. Iron sharpens iron, so man can sharpen another. Meaning that at workplace, whether you like it, a man will sharpen another. So that concept, bring it at workplace. Whether you like it or not, it's the person around you who's going to sharpen you into that aspect. So it brings in that proximity, which Jessica was talking about. You're available, so I'm going to sharpen you in a way. There are very many spheres. So inclusive is love. Whether you like it or not, it will be there. So it brings principles in you where you have to either to stay in that or not, but chances are also there. But I think when we come to Jessica, which is she's left out the element of shared interests. You know, in a place where you have the same common interests, it's very easy for you to fall in love, whether you like it or not. Last time there was this political organization, NUP, in Uganda. I saw one of the foot soldiers, proposing to a foot soldier. Their center of interest is NUP. They're all together. So because of proximity, which Jessica said, and the interest, which is a shared interest of NUP, they found themselves falling in love. So that's their office. You can't avoid it. Whether you like it or not, they spend most of their times there. So it's hard to say that you can't fall in love with a person like that. And by reality, 30 to 40% of 30 to 40%, I think you're around between 30 to 50%. You viewers, you've been victims of love in the office. Whether you like it or not, you've been falling in love with your colleagues. Whether you're fleeting or you're doing anything, it's like that.
Whether you're crashing, it's love.
It's a process of love in the office. Crashing is having an idea of admiring someone. All those, it's a package, it's a process that you're in there, so you can't refute it. And we have very many people who are victims. Inclusive is me. And several times, that's like something like 2 times, where one, I've been a supervisor, then I crossed into my subordinate.
Can you go and tell us what okay, it was good, but were there dilemmas? I mean, I'm so
I will switch to that if you ask me the right question.
Like,
and
I can't wait to hear the problems behind
there are very many issues that actually that I wanted to supplement on Jessica's side. Emotional support. Very many people have been having issues at home. I
have a question for you when we talk about that. How
Please,
best can we handle it? But now I want to know the dilemmas.
Hopefully, I'll be able to handle that. Emotional support. Very many people have been coming in, and then they like, you're having problems home, and then this person, your colleague, he becomes this emotional support. There's a saying that a friend indeed is a friend in need. So sometimes the more you listen, this person becomes more. In Luganda, there's a saying which I'll leave pending. Nti omuntu wasigala ennyo ku luggya oba ekikazi ekibi bwe kibeera awo ebiseera ebisinga kiba nga kiri kyokka kitandika okulungiwa assuming the time you spend. Anyway, that aside, when you go to the dynamics or the dilemmas, there are really so much. When it comes to relationships at workplace, it's quite a challenge, whether you like it or not. But normally we know once you go to work, it's supposed to be work-related elements. Though love crosses in here, it just crosses in, but it comes with its also challenges. Say, for example, like issues connected to favoritism. You start favoring certain people because of love and then things like that. Mostly if a scandal is between a supervisor versus a supervisor, falling in love with a subordinate. You get it? This brings in a lot of favoritism, unfairness to other colleagues. When you look at breach of, it can also bring in issues connected to breaching of confidentiality.
Confidentiality, yeah.
Yes. For example, like you're the boss, There's certain secrets you have to hold
Hmm.
that belong to all, everyone runs to the boss to tell them the secrets or things, for example, it can be in their CV or things like that. But love, when it crosses the boundaries, sometimes you can be weakened to extend that you can easily start to unleash certain secrets you're not entitled to give. So before you know it, you're creating more chaos. So it becomes a dilemma in that aspect. And in cases of the conflict of interests, for example, like decision making, and sometimes when you love decisions, when you're really when mostly you're the
The
supervisor,
boss. Yeah, or the boss.
and
Yeah, sorry.
you're having this subordinate you're having down there, or your employee, or you're falling in love with, sometimes decisions becomes a little bit challenging. I know, Nabada, you've done decision making when you're doing business administration.
Yeah.
All the dynamics that really
Yes.
happen, and assuming your boss is supposed to
Mhm.
take a decision where inclusive
It's
is
me.
his lover into a certain situation.
I'm
So
a kagabaga food.
thank you very much. You can make a decision which is affecting you can make a decision which is right for the office, and it brings trouble back home.
Mm.
Why did you side with the other person? Do you love her? Why are you always onto the other side? Even though you're having a woman who's stupid or a man who's stupid, and then you make the right decision, you may fall into conflict. So decision making becomes really a challenge. When it comes to promotion, it's also another dilemma. Who are you going to promote? Say, for example, I'm with two beauties here. I'm with Nabada, at the same time I'm with Lady Jessica. So when I'm supposed to promote, it becomes a conflict if they all have the same, um, same credentials. So I'll find myself going with my own in a way, and I can't refute that. When it comes to also giving assignments, it's also a challenge. There's certain things I cannot give a person who I'm really fully connected with. So it becomes also another dilemma. When it comes also to, if I'm the boss and I'm supposed to make, performance evaluations at workplace,
Mm.
it also becomes a challenge. How will I evaluate my woman, and in the presence of my other colleagues, or his colleagues or her colleagues? At times they'll feel something is not fair, or they'll misjudge you, even though you've made the right statement, but they will misjudge you because they will say, what would you have said in it, because she's your lover? So love at work, if not properly handled, it can bring a lot of challenges that can either ruin the office environment. So what I'll say, love, if you really want to accept it fully, have some bit of open communication. Be clear to yourself. You're talking about the dilemmas. I left out something which I thought about. In case a relationship dies when you're at work, don't you expect harassment of your partner? It's quite a sensitive area, assuming. Let me take, for example, me and you were in relationship, and then it ends badly. Would you think it would be
I'll
a
not
nice
have you on
show?
the show again.
So it will be quite a dynamic area. So love is love at work is so nice, but it comes with its, challenges. So I leave it from there. Jessica.
Thank you very much, my guests. You're giving me the dynamics. I'm feeling the heat. But I'll go to you straight to Jessica. Jessica, yes, we've understood there could be problems. I mean, it is sweet, like when we said it, that love is good. But I want to ask, how can companies address these dynamics in case they happen? Are there some ethical, how should I call them? Ethical guidelines? Could there be some ethical guidelines? Or have you heard of them? Have you encountered some? Because I know you're working and you've worked in different settings, probably different organizations with different offices. Since you said we start working at 16, so I feel like you've been in a number of places and you've accepted, yes, there are relationships there, but in case there are dilemmas, how can companies, if they are not even dilemmas, if it has happened, how can we advise the companies to handle this work relationship? Jessica?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, madam.
Okay.
Advert
Is off, but I think I can start.
Please.
Yeah. Thank you. To begin with, I think actually it's important for the organizations to have clear guidelines and policies concerning the ethics about workmate dating, if I can call it that. Many organizations, especially many government sectors, for example, when we go through the ethics and the guidelines. But most HRs, I think maybe for some reasons, or they just shy away from telling us and describing the standard guidelines concerning falling in love with the workmate. Yet many of these companies, they already have them, they are there. But then they'll be telling you about being punctual, being but they never mentioned very few of them have worked different nations and not actually that to me in detail. For example, the guidelines concerning falling in love with the colleague, and then the consequences, for example, if I breach those rules and policies. So I would suggest that at least the leaders, the managers, the HRs really take it seriously and present these guidelines from the beginning. In that way, they'll be doing themselves a service, but also enabling.
Escalate to. Oh.
I don't know what to do. Just know that. Let me try to continue. Also, disclosure. There should be disclosure requirement whereby, for example, if I fall in love with the colleague, I should talk about it openly. Agree with that partner that we present the issue early enough to the HR such that together we can find a mutual amicable way of maybe presenting it also to the colleagues while considering because then if we present it to the HR in good time and also the colleagues, we prevent aspects of rumors, rumor mongering, gossips, speculations. At least then they know that, okay, these people have started their journey. And in that way, we can even solicit for their support. I mean, we are humans. We can make mistakes along the way as we are trying to date. So we really ask you also for what? It's very important to involve the colleagues and the leaders of the organization.
Okay, apologies to our viewers. Jessica is having serious technical problems. Jessica, you're on again.
Where did you hear me?
You say you okay, you were talking about our supervisors coming to support us in case there is a situation of
Yes, supervisors coming to support us and also help us reach out to our colleagues such that we tell them. And actually, it's very important to tell them at once if it's possible, maybe after staff was meeting, because then they get the same information at the same time, all of them. But if we call one colleague, we tell them, we've started this project of that other, that colleague might, you know what? I just feel like I'm wasting too much time. Yeah?
No. You continue. You talk.
Okay.
No, you talk.
Put them at once to avoid misinterpreting the information that we've given to them, and also solicit for their support, include them in our project, but at the same time, being sensitive enough not to tell too much of everything that we do at home, things we do, while we are at the beach. No. And also, it's very important and also maintain productivity and effectiveness. For example, make sure that our relationship doesn't affect the company's level of productivity, and also that we won't make the company incur losses. I've observed some top managers whereby, because they have access to the company's property, they can be, for example, holiday houses for the company or cars. So because they have access, then they'll be giving access to this other partner of theirs. Now you can drive. It's me who is in charge. And it's the company incurring the what? The losses for too much fuel that no favoritism, no bias. So you don't gonna start, for example, giving this pattern of yours holidays to go and enjoy, or sometimes leaving work early enough. So if you really stable enough and balanced to avoid favoritism, I think it can facilitate a good ground for workmate relationships and dating. Also be considerate of the type of relationship you want. Is it casual or long-term relationship?
Jessica.
Oh. So unfortunate.
Okay.
I mean, she's quite insightful, by the way.
That's true. Actually, maybe I can take it over from there, just to maybe to the viewers. It's a topic of discussion where we're looking at love in the office, and Jessica, she's trying to, I've been trying to note down what she was trying to address, and I think the points she's giving, they're really so valid, and she comes back. But I'll just going to do a supplement of what she's saying. Why you ask what can companies? Was it what?
Actually, Smugi, you can take it from there. What can companies, at the same time individuals, how best can we handle this dilemma?
Oh yeah, I just feel like maybe.
No, Jessica, continue.
Yeah. Okay, I can continue that. I can just be brief that also when assigning the roles, you can, as for example, consider the opportunities maybe of changing lines of performance and operations, can consider changing the job. I was mentioning that consider also the type of the relationship you want to engage in. Is it long-term relationship, more serious kind of relationship that can maybe probably lead to marriage, or casual? Because from experience, when people are aiming at long-term marriages, they invest in more. Mr. Smoky mentioned something about reshaping this person. For example, if I eye this person for long-term marriage, even though he has some weaknesses, before even the person realizes that I'm interested in him, I can start reshaping him slowly, before actually we engage into that relationship. Because dating someone produces some kind of level of emotional performance. So I can use this opportunity before I openly say out to this person that, I'm interested in you, to guide this person, to nurture him, to discipline him, you know, and inculcate in him.
So what unfortunate.
Yes. So time I'm interested in you. He already at least halfway of what I need in him, you know, the opportunities for that. And if it's a long-term kind of relationship I'm investing in, I can even decide to leave that job. But then I need the blessings of my HR, for example, to give me a good recommendation that if I look for another job, at least when they call him, I think mostly in Europe and all over, I think even in Uganda and other continents, when I go to apply for a job, they'll ask me for the recommendation of the people I've worked for who know me, who know how I perform. So if the HR is there to support that, okay, now you're planning to leave this job, it's okay. I'm giving you my blessings. Wherever I go, just call me if they want me to talk to them to recommend you. Or if the HR, like it's a big organization, can recommend you to another department in another geographical location. So there are a lot of resources that the companies can tap in to support these people. And also encourage professionalism and setting boundaries. That one has also been mentioned by you and Mr. Smokey. These professional boundaries help us not to bring personal issues at work, and also not making the team of two. For example, we at work, we always talking in the corridors, we don't include the other people, we always tapping on each other, hugging, kissing. So trying to maintain a favorable environment for all to interact. Another important aspect is this partner is not only for you. When you are to work, to begin with, is for the boss, it's for everyone at work. That's why it's being paid. So if you are this kind of a jealousy person, is a team coordinator, and because you belong to that team, you don't want him to talk or her to talk and interact with other colleagues, it would really disturb you a lot. Be assured of that sometimes actually we'll be going for some leaders seminars, weekends off, and just be with them. You being left either at work or at home. So try to be a person who can contain your level of maturity and also being considerate for both the customers that you're serving at work and the colleagues. For
Okay. Thank you very much, Jessica. Actually, we are soon ending our show. Maybe we shall get.
Let me just think because I've been trying to note the key areas where she was being pointing, hitting on, because you're talking about the role of the companies in terms of a policies created. How have they guided situations like this? If I'm on the right track of the question asked. But she talked about clear guidelines on the expectations. Companies are entitled to give clear guidance to the employees. Let them know about this. Sometimes we play so smart and then maybe we're not so serious onto certain guidelines. Let's be real to ourselves. One of the things that are really failing us, mostly we people who are coming from the third world, we take things for granted. If there is a system to follow, let it be clear. The reason as why most of maybe these European companies or maybe first world companies have really done things possible is because they're clear. There's clarity in everything. If a yes is a yes, let it be a yes. No, yes, no. So Jessica talked about clear guidelines, and it should be erased by the companies that if relationships are granted, let them be there. If that to be helped, if people are in relationships that they're supposed to be supported. Let companies find a way of how to do it, but clarity should be there. She talked about change of office. Yes, as office as the bosses or the supervisors, it's an area where you have to have an eagle eye to look into your employees, because much as they came for work, there's aspect of love which you can't refute. At the end of it all, you have also to look into that line. That's why we're having the HRS on all fields, to look into the human resource, that aspect, be real. And then if there's a situation where there is one involved into an affair as which can be toxic to the work performance or execution, endeavor to see that you create some bit of changes, healthy changes, where they're understandable by the employees, in a way that those involved into an affair, they can feel that you're doing this for the safety of their relationship and their work aspect. So as a company, try to change. If these two people, their relationship is so strong that it's becoming toxic also to their team members, then remove one of the partner into another team. Jessica talked about these assignments, which are individual, which are like more of individual, where two people are supposed to be given assignments. She talked about teamwork. Try to create team spirit when you're working, such that, even though you're a couple and then you're in a team, certain areas or some feelings may not arise because there's some people around you. So at the end of it all, as a company policy, try to go into a team kind of relationship, team working spirit, to avoid issues that can create dilemma into love in the office. Then for me, then later she talked about being real. Yes, where for me, I'll look at it as transparency. Be transparent as a company, or those who are entitled to run the company. Be transparent. Tell your employees what is valid. Then promote professionalism. Try to endeavor to remind them about the values and the culture of the organization. Away from that, at least I try to also look into the I look at it as an area where you have to create more. When you see love affairs, try to create more refresher courses so that people can know. I think you're muted. You're muted.
Okay. In short, you're trying to say, Smogi, that that companies they can try to stop the relationship.
It's not stopping. By recreating, by revamping, refresh, or creating refresher courses, is trying to create awareness of the mission and the vision of the company. Love was not part of it.
Dictator, you're becoming your dictator.
It's not being a dictator, but it's trying to reshape, to remind people, because you can be swept away with love and you forget the focus as to why you came to work, just in case you don't know how to handle it, or what if one is so weak. So as one who is who's a manager or a supervisor, they should try to revamp, or they should try to remind their employees about the values, the mission, the vision of the companies, so that people can at least refocus. You can't refute love, but at least try to remind them as to why they came to work. Even though love is there, it should not be toxic to affect the mission of the company. That's what I was trying to do. But all goes for transparency.
Okay, thank you very much, Smogi, and my guest Jessica, and to our viewers, thank you for keeping around. We are closing the show. It's 2 minutes to 6 right here in Sweden, and I think in Uganda it's almost getting to 20 p.m. So I would want us to come to a conclusion. But as of now, I feel like you've given us at least a bit of what we should do on an individual level and on a company level. I have one before I ask you for your conclusion. I would feel like if my partner or the person I'm getting comfortable with, they should be very supportive enough even to tell me when things are going astray. Oh, we can even look for another job for one of us so that we can still our relationship, because sometimes the company policies themselves may end up ending this relationship. And as we all talked about, like now we have many hours at work than out. So I would think try to talk about it as a couple. If you feel like one of you cannot handle this, then go ahead and look for another job. If there's no job, then another person can go back to school to improve themselves as you keep the relationship. Because at the end of the day, we all come home or we go back to home, or even the Bible says, or one will leave their house and go to their better half. So I advocate for love, and I would do anything for that to make it work. So not even company policies can should even stop a relationship. It is up to you, the people, to see that you can work it out. Don't lose your jobs, but still don't lose your relationship. Thank you very much. Before I close, I would ask all my guests to give us a closing remark basing on the topic, or anything outside, if you feel like you've said it all.
Should I try?
Yeah.
Should I start?
You start.
Yeah. As I'm concluding, I want to thank you so much for this important topic.
Thank you very much.
In Uganda, we used to say that omukyala alima n'omwami we taba munafu. Meaning that if you work with your husband, he will in one way or the other support you. After him digging, finishing his side, he'll come and support you. So me, for one, I encourage actually that we establish more favorable conditions for people to date at work. And this includes all of us. It includes the two parties that are falling in love, includes the HR and the entire management, and their colleagues. We should come and support each other. Today it's me falling in love. Tomorrow it will be you. So if you're there criticizing me, just throwing stones, hey, I'll be there supporting you tomorrow when you're really busy falling in love with your Mr. Right. So support me. I'll support you when your time comes. And also, I encourage that we start normalizing this, offer courses at work. Here in Norway, we call it competence utvikling. They should offer courses to all workers for us to learn together on how we can favorably date each other. We want more families being created, and more so, we have the challenge of the changes happening in the world these days. We no longer meet each other on the streets. We no longer meet each other on these buduka in the evenings to chill a bit and drink katunda and no more eat of each other. Our platform, our village, our Luja now is at work or school. So if we don't
Oh, we've lost her again.
Well,
so
actually, I would concur with her on the other way around, where if you ask me the benefits of workplace relationships, yes, for sure, there might be many, because we're humans, we're entitled to love, and it's that element she brought that once you start working together, at times a company can benefit because the two heads are better than one. So at the end of it all, you're working in favor of the company, and then the company, at times, you're even more sensitive that our fare should not affect the company. So can you help me to execute work? So assuming, for example, like if our boss, Mr. Moses, has given me a task, and I feel I'm failing to accomplish it in time. Then probably, if Navada was my person, then I could come to you, and then we accomplish the mission of the work very fast. So in a way, altogether, relationships, this bond, they create not only love affiliated element, but also they create that focus at work, that can we finish this work? Even though cases, for example, case in point, you have to go for a date. Do you know that you're going to accomplish your work, or you're going to help your partner very fast to accomplish their mission, so that you can go and help, finish up? Even though it has its challenge, but still also there are benefits on that, the other side of it. Communication becomes also clear that, actually, Jessica had a point in the beginning where she said it's very difficult to find love. And more so in Europe, we don't have time based on our systems. The only places we can find love, at times it can be at workplace, where we spend most of our times and where we can see too much people. I've been telling certain friends of mine that whatever people express so much in the office is not far away from who they are at home.
Yeah.
How you're disorganized in the office is not very far away from how you are in reality at home. So at times, there are signals you can look into a person when you're at home than looking for a stranger. If you have this person, it's really a benefit. Workplaces, they're always calling for teamwork, cohesion. So I feel this is a time where you have a relationship. It's more, I think, creating more bond of that bit of teamwork, cohesion. But there's a question you left pending, where you said, then where do we find the balance, work and love as individuals? So it becomes sensitive once you're a victim. So you have to be very clear. One, in the first place, you have to think about what was the aim as to why you were employed at work. Were you employed to love, or you are employed to work? So I'm saying, because in the beginning, love doesn't ask why. For it has no questions. It will penetrate whether you love it or not. But also there's another aspect of love. Are you going to lose your work because of love?
I can find other work.
Easy as you say, for you it's okay. Assuming it's very difficult for me to find work, and this has been my work. So it leaves a challenge for companies also to add it just a bit, to at least help lovers not to get affected with work. I mean, with love to affect work, but help them to enhance their work, their love, and they blend it with work, so that it's healthy not to lose your work, but also to help, it's a two-way traffic. Much as we're giving life to a company, indeed, companies also are entitled to give life back to us. We're not just slaves. So at the end of it all, we have to companies have to find a balance on how to help their employees to go with love, because they spend most of their time at work. They don't have time to go to find love. So they create a space where they can enhance this element. And then they could create, kind of, transparency, and communication should be clear. There's one was just written to me on WhatsApp saying that, Smoggy, I have a problem. My workmates, there's two of my workmates are in love, and I'm feeling uncomfortable. I feel they're not real, they're not fair to us. What should I do?
Dilemma.
Like that, you leave a challenge to entire team, but it goes back to communication. Communication in all this is a key. The more you talk about something with your partner, people will come to accept you, that these people are lovers. And you lovers, you have to know where you have to balance. Have your rights of love for as long as you don't intercept the company's freedom, all the companies and members, so that everyone at least find a fair ruling in a way. So if you ask me about my experience, I think that will be another episode when I'll be telling you why, when I was a supervisor and I fell in love and I had
Smogy,
to...
I'll ask our boss to bring you on one-on-one on our segment where one-on-one, where they're gonna ask you about that, because
yeah,
we need that information. Yes, just 2 minutes, please. Just use your internet. It's right. So 2 minutes to say something, then we close down. Oh, she has left. Anyway, thank you,
so let
Abu.
me just finish something very little.
She's back. She's back.
Okay.
2 minutes. Oh, thank you. To begin with, I really want to thank you, the coordinator and the mobilizer of this program. Thanks so much for being patient with me. Yes, I can't explain anymore. You've seen yourself, you've witnessed what has been happening, but you allowed me to participate. This shows the spirit of Euroforum, that it enhances to touch all of us, irrespective of what we are going through. Here it has been a system failure. Tomorrow it will be another challenge. But thanks so much for always being there for us and including all of us Ugandans, wherever we are. I really appreciate so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for those wonderful words. Actually, I think we should also create a dating app. Yeah, a Euroforum, because we are communicating to peers. After the financial, the investment club, I think we shall send in our proposals, our project proposals to our boss, and we create a dating app. You never know, if work fails, if Love at Office fails, we come to Love at the Show.
Well, in summary, this is what I would say, that let's try to find a balance between work and love, so that none of the two is affected, because at the end of it all, both of them are basics to us as human beings. We need love. We all need a sense of belonging. We all need the comfort. Love is a feeling you cannot best express. And then at the end of it all, whether you like it or not, it will affect you. And as we human beings, we are results of love, whether we like it or not. But for those who are into relationships, just find a balance, establish clear boundaries, and then try to be aware of the culture and the policies of the companies. I'll try to say change departments. In any case, it's possible in a company when you're affected with love affairs. If your love is so strong that it can surpass the work aspect, trust me, try to change departments, or try to go humbly with the HR, tell them your situation. They're always flexible. They can change you to different departments so that you cannot be toxic. The other thing is respect your colleagues, because yes, I have my rights to love someone, but there's also their freedom, not you to overexpress whatever you're feeling, because there is a strong bond between the mind and the body. What some people can see, whatever happening, and then you can affect them. Away from that, I'll just say you have to also have this element of, you can love without sex, even in the office. I'm seeing your eyes being open. Sex is normal, sex is healthy, sex is nice, but the truth is, sometimes when love crosses an area where a sexual element has been blended in, it has gone to the maximum. What does this mean? It means that it's going to be more effective. So at some moment, if it's possible, try to avoid it.
Okay, Smogy, let us not continue let us stop from there. Thank you very much. You've bombshelled us. You've Saddam Hussein us after all the struggles with our hearts. Now you're discouraging us from even doing the next step. Anyway, to our viewers, thank you very much. We do not have so much time to continue with this, but keep around. Maybe we shall bring another session to get into details of sex in the office. maybe. But thank you very much. And my guests, thank you so much. Jessica Nantongo, thank you for your insightful discussion. How even though when the internet was disturbing you still kept on. That's your forum, Yuji. We communicate to peers, of which you never know what someone is going through, but we are accommodative enough. And before we leave, I want to tell you the Euroforum UG Academy is open. Here we are welcoming people who are willing to come and join, be part of this team. You can come and do what I'm doing right now. It's hosting. Smug is there looking for someone who can host him. If you feel like you have the passion, you have the skills, you are educated, I mean, you can have one of them, not all of it. You can have a few. Maybe you have the passion. You come, we learn how to do it. I personally, I am a business graduate. I never did media, but I'm here. My boss, hey, the day my boss will tell you his academics, you laugh. My boss is an industrial chemist, but he's good at this. So we do not, I mean, we do not isolate. We do not say, okay, you don't have experience. Just come, feel at home, come and be part of us. We are open. Send in your requests. Talk to us. Maybe you can have a Sunday and come and do this. But thank you very much. Before we go, the Sazaria Uganda, their Luganda classes are open. We shall have our flyers on Euroforum UG. Remember, Euroforum, it's an open thing. So if we hear we're talking about Luganda classes, it's what we do. And all those people who want to advertise. I mean, this year we have a lot of space for our followers, for our viewers. We have a lot. So come and get a niche. You want to be in the investment club? You're welcome. You want to do advertisement with us? You're welcome. You want to come and we connect you to some organization or office that advertised with us? Just inbox us. Come and be part of us. This is your platform. It's our platform. You're all welcome. I want to say Happy New Year. Stick to your plan. Find love. Don't give up. Thank you very much. See you next time.